just one of those fun weeks just to get everyone back
Yep.
together?
No,
Yeah.
it's always good. I mean, it's it kind of, I don't want to jinx it, but it's like our first normal spring training down here. So it's, it's good to see all the guys that are here. We got almost our whole club the whole spring training rosters here, and it's just good. I said my biggest thing the first day is just to get out there and get it over. And then you get going. So it's good to see everybody, and I'm sure they're had a beautiful day. So it's been really nice.
Seems like now seeing them in the clubhouse, you guys are going to have options for left field there. There's a lot of them. Do you feel good about kind of how at least you have?
No, there's a lot of guys, I say, to choose from. So that's why we're going to play those games. I'm excited already about game starting, just to see who some of these guys are. But yeah, I think Alex did a great job of giving us options. So we'll see.
Look, I talked a lot about Charlie's longevity and his success late in his career, but I think 20 years ago was his first spring training, and just how impressive is that just to stay in the game that long?
I told him that the other day. I watched him throw a side last week, and just how good he looks, and to have a normal off season, and just I want to know if he hurt when he woke up in the morning, and things like, because it's amazing. He's in great shape. I mean, just the way the ball still comes out, what he's doing. I've been amazed the last 3 years, really, and it's something that speaks to his dedication and taking care of himself and everything. So it's pretty impressive.
If Ian and Soroka need any kind of advice, they got a couple of guys right there that can help them.
No, there's right now we've grown some of those guys. I mean, you look at a guy like Max. It's everything he's been through in his career, and there's some really good guys in there. I think this is Jesse's 20th spring training, if I'm not mistaken. I asked him that the other day. I think he said 20. There's some good resources there.
You guys have a lot of options in that bullpen too, where you look at it, maybe there's going to be 3 or guys who don't make the team can maybe make it, anywhere else.
Well, I mean, we have depth, which is good, and you need. I told him today in the first meeting, we used 30 guys last year, or 29, I think, pitchers last year. And so you need a lot. I mean, we've seen that. I think we used 11 starters and 29 total pitchers, and so it's you can't have too much pitching depth. That's for sure. We've seen that over the years, and there's some interesting guys there, some really good arms. Just looking at the brief little today, and so it's. You can never have too many, that's for sure.
With Luque and Jimenez, it looks like you guys added another couple of really different arms than what you have. Everybody's got a different look down there in that bullpen.
That's good. Like I said, they've been through the wars, and there's Dennis Santana. I watched him throw today. He looked really good, and a lot of them. I think we do. We have a good mix, and guys that can, be the high leverage guys and guys that can do multiple innings and things like that, which you need to have.
You're expecting Jimenez to be ready open today, right?
Oh, yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's been throwing sides and looks good.
Noticed you guys have the pitch clock set up for throwing already. It seems like that.
Well, we got those, and I think it's the more they can experience that. And some of them are the minor league guys have been through it, but we're just in there talking today with the minor league guys that have experienced it. I did. I don't know if it was the last year I was in AAA before I came here, but that's been a long time ago, and so it's just kind of good to get their take on it, things they've seen and developed over the years of the guys doing it, and we're going to expose them to it as much as we can. I mean, when the bullpens thin down and where there's not so many guys at a time, we'll probably put them, just even doing the PFPs when play stops and things like that. So just to get them, I'm glad baseball's, that we're starting out doing that so we can live it, because I think until, you can read about it, but I think until we get out there and actually see it happening and live it, then things will be better.
Is Kirby Yates a guy that now with the normal offseason health-wise could get back to what he was before that?
I hope so. I mean, that was kind of the plan, I think, when we signed him, and I think it was big for him, as was Charlie, to have a normal offseason. I think, I'm learning that more as I go. Those guys that coming off and not having to rehab and have a normal off season and all is big for these guys. And Kirby looked really good today, throwing his side, and so it's I think it's huge for those guys to just be a normal guy.
What have you kind of seen from just Sean Murphy already trying to get adjusted in some of the?
Yeah, no, I mean he's an impressive young man. I'll tell you that, and. I know he's, catching as many guys as he can already and watched the batting practice and so I've been very impressed with the person so far.
What are your thoughts on the extra inning rule, runner on second base and doing that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been living it the last few years, so it'll just be kind of, that is normal really now. So really, I don't think it's going to be that big of a culture shock, just continuing to have it.
Acuna also told us that he feels 100%, like there's no limitations, no excuses.
No.
What have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen that. I figured that when, he finished the year, and he's, you forget about him. He's another one too that had a normal off season and could train and do everything. And so I'm sure he's really anxious to, get a full season going when he's feeling good and healthy and strong. And so I'm sure he's looking forward to this thing getting tipped off.
Do you remember the first time you might have crossed paths with Charlie at the instructional league, a spring training?
Yeah,
somewhere?
probably. I never managed Charlie till now, and I remember just seeing him probably in spring training, things like that. Well, actually, the first time I was a third base coach when he got called up, so that would have been the first time really in that situation. Yeah.
And that was his season where he talks about. Bo basically walked up to him after one game and said, "Look, you don't go straight to the food room. You got to respect the game. You got to start, acting a little more serious." Anyhow, 07, you're on the Atlanta's coaching staff, but for him to come up in 08 and still be kind of the ho hum guy, it's.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, he's come a long way since then. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And you never know what guys are going to do. You never know what they're going to do with their careers, how they're going to handle it. He's been through a lot of changes and different experiences and got, a bunch of rings and all. So he's been through probably all the pitching scenarios that you could and the big situations and all. So it is, I admire guys like that so much in this game because how hard it is to do that and to string together years like that and be consistent and just have the success that he's had.
In addition to the 100 whatever, close to 200 innings he can give you and of quality pitching and a lot of strikeouts, what else does he bring this team? I mean,
I think that quiet leadership and experience and as we talked earlier, the resource that he can be for the young players, not just pitchers, just young players and they kind of sit around, they watch those guys, how they conduct themselves and their work ethic and all that. That veteran presence like that have been around is invaluable, and you can't find it always. Right. And you just I always say players are remiss not to take advantage of it because it is such a to run stuff by guys like that because they're all willing to share and let them know what they went through. I remember I've told a couple of our young guys, it's like, you're going to be that guy people are going to come to for that advice at some point in time, and we have some guys now that are those guys.
You mentioned it, I think your first answer to Bo having so many guys here. I mean, every year you have a lot of position players report early, but it seems like you said, almost everybody. What does that say about the team?
It's awesome. I mean, and I look at us, that's why we built this place, is so those guys have this to come early and continue their workouts and get settled in and, go play golf and go to the beach or spend time with their families. Because when they get started, I mean, when we tip this thing off the end of March, it's game on for 7 months. So I love the fact that these guys are coming down and using this great facility. I mean, that's it. You want them to do that and to come early to have this. And like I say, that's why we build it.